What's up, everybody? It's Luke with Cool Hand Electric. You ever seen these plugs before? It's got a little WR on it. That means weather resistant. What's the difference between weather resistant plug and a regular plug? These are actually called tamper-resistant. This is tamper-resistant and weather resistant. So it gets kind of confusing. And if someone's saying, hey, your plugs aren't up to the current safety standards or electrical codes, that's what they're talking about. If it's outside, it's supposed to be GFCI protected, okay? But also it's supposed to be WR, aka weather resistant. Not all of the brands have it written on there like that. Some of them have it listed in different ways. But what is the difference between this and this one? If you look here, this is called the yoke. It's the metal frame that goes from here all the way through the plug to here. So it's what connects the whole plug. That's called the yoke. That frame is made of a stainless compound, so it doesn't rust. What happens is when you have a rusty outlet right here, the frame, like this one, this will rust if it gets water in it. And that rust will obviously grow, right? So the metal will get wider and it'll build up that moisture and cause tripping. And then eventually it doesn't trip and causes shock or deterioration, what have you. So that's why anything on the exterior needs to be weather resistant. So if you have plugs on your outside and they don't say WR, then they need to be GFCI protected and they have to be weather resistant, okay? That protects you from getting shocked. It protects from nuisance trips and irritations that way. So it's a very good product, good thing to have. Now, that's a newer code, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer than that, about 10 years ago, they put it into the code. If you're in a house, all of your outlets need to be tamper resistant, okay? So that you'll see on there, it'll say TR. So inside of a house, they also need to be tamper resistant. Now, why do you want tamper resistant? This prevents kids from sticking stuff in there and getting themselves shocked, okay? If you were a little ornery growing up, you might have stuck things into outlets like I did and try to get yourself shocked. Well, I'm looking for something to show you that you can't stick it in. But like, you can't stick stuff in there all the way, okay? It doesn't let you. You have to be plugging both in. So it's kind of like this. 1 second.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm back. So this is a GFCI, all right? So weather resistant outlets outside still need to be protected from one of these GFCIs, okay? Protects you from getting shocked. Now, this also is tamper resistant because it goes inside of a house. So are these. All these are tamper resistant. So there's a difference between tamper resistant and weather resistant. Now, what's the point of tamper resistant? Do you remember these old things? These old deals? For if you have kids and whatnot? Okay. Did you know that these are obsolete with the tamper resistant? And actually, they did a little study, and I have an article on it on my website, I'll link below. But they did a study that these can actually cause a little bit more of a hazard because out of all these toddlers, all of them were able to remove it. They were all able to remove these things. And so little toddlers could figure out a way of pulling these out. And then if you think about it, what do toddlers like to do with stuff whenever they got it in their hand? So it causes a potential choking hazard as well. So if you have little kids or if you're just wanting to be up to proper standards, tamper resistant, cool thing too is they hold the whatever you plug in a lot better because it's got little springs in there that hold it together. They keep stuff plugged in very well. So it's a good device, and it makes it to where you have to plug in both at the same time. You can't just stick one thing in there and get yourself shocked. So that's the difference. Hope this was helpful. God bless.